Brett Favre, the country boy quarterback in Wrangler jeans, happens to be one of the biggest thieves in America. This Montana White with Miami Mix Show, the podcast. Hip hop, money, power, and politics. Catch the wave, baby, because Brett Favre, he gonna need to be doing more than quarterbacking. You feel me? Now, let's first talk about ESPN, right? We all know what Brett Favre in trouble for. He tried to steal some welfare money from the less fortunate people of Mississippi, which happens to be the poorest state in the union, right? Brett Favre, who's a celebrated Hall of Fame, Super Bowl winning MVP quarterback who's made millions of dollars on the football field and also is sponsored by Wrangler jeans, even though I guess they wear them down in the bayou or something, even, whatever it is with the Wrangler jeans. Anyway, Brett Favre is accused of trying to steal over $5 to $8 million from a fund that was dedicated for the people in Mississippi that's been suffering for years, and that was before the pandemic. So after the pandemic, they need a bag, right? Anyway, Brett Favre and ESPN are being called out, but ESPN is being called out on a much, much higher level, right? Because everybody gets into something. It's the media outlets that cover it is how we're aware of it. And it seems that the people are calling out ESPN for its lack of coverage over this $8 million fraud case that Brett Favre is involved in, when they seem to cover African-American sports figures and players with way more coverage, right? We heard about Mike Vick fighting pit bulls 1,000,000 times more than we heard about anything Brett Favre got going on outside of quarterbacking on the football field. Now, it's the case of this Boston Celtics coach, right, who had an affair with a white girl, and they trying to say it was consensual, but it was against staff rules. So they call it some Jim Crow on that, but who cares about that? I think that story was planted so ESPN can focus on the black bad guy and leave Brett Favre out of the media headlines. But social media, thank God, won't let this story go away because we're tired of seeing the whitewashing of crime and the blackballing of African Americans, man. You know what I'm talking about? Now, Brett Favre, he should be taken out the Hall of Fame. If you want to steal from poor people, if you want to get on the field and, it's like Aaron Rodgers, right? They love their white guys. Aaron Rodgers lied about taking the vaccine, but yet and still, we was on Kyrie Irving's neck about not taking the vaccine, right? Now, Brett Favre, country boy, good old great American quarterback, cheesehead, all that. He's one of their favorites, one of their idols, one of their heroes, and he happens to be, just like any other white man in America, taking advantage of the system. And this is what they do. Now, Brett Favre, yes, he should be sent to prison so we can show all of white America that there's no tolerance for crime, even if you got the complexion for protection. You feel me? Now, they want Brett Favre out of the Hall of Fame, which is right. I think which is right. After his induction, he's supposed to be a stellar player, a stellar member of the community. He played the game right. He did his part. But then tried to steal money from the poor to build his daughter a soccer field, right? That's what he did it for. He was taking the money to build a soccer field at some school his daughter go to, and he was dedicating it to his daughter. Now, who's going to say that's noble? He could have built it himself. He got the bread, right? And that's like all these PPP loans that all these people got, Tom Brady, et cetera, right? The media seems to forget about white crime and zoom in. I've seen more about this Boston Celtics love affair now, even though he's the husband or fiance of Nia Long, that it's ridiculous. That's the problem. We need to turn off these media channels. We need to boycott anybody who advertises with ESPN until they bring fair and balanced journalism to the table. You feel what I'm talking about? Hey man, Brett Favre need to go to jail, right? ESPN need to cover it in depth. They need to be live in the courtroom. You feel me? And we need to stop getting fooled by this tacky display of trying to program our minds in a different direction into this group thinking category. Like we don't see what y'all doing. Yeah, we don't care if the black guy had sex with the white girl and she was with it. That's slavery. That's been happening for years, right? We do care about the imbalance in y'all covering of crime committed by white guys in pro sports and infractions committed by black people in the industry. You feel what I'm talking about? This Montana White with Miami Mix Show, the podcast, Hip Hop, Money, and Politics. Catch the wave. Hit that subscribe button. And you know, if it's anything you got to say, leave a comment at the bottom, right? Because without a doubt, Brett Favre was completely wrong. I'm out.